And the South African athletics team finished top of the medal standings at the African Seniors Championships in Ghana after collecting 21 medals, including 9 gold, 4 silver, and 8 bronze medals. Aiden Smith claimed gold in the men's shot put, while former world champion Luva Manyonga made an emotional return by winning the men's long jump title. Christy Snyman, Asunay De Beer, Luan Manik, More, and Rogel Josephs also secured gold medals. Radion Kawana, Leandre Holzhausen, Chepechite, Inyapula, and Mateo Leroux earned silver medals, while several more podium finishes helped Team SA underline their strength on the African athletics stage. And with that, the end of your afternoon sport.
Money Matters is proudly brought to you by DCGsa, finding solutions to your debt problems. Talk to us for professional, affordable assistance.
Oh, can't believe I missed the payment. What if they come for the car? How will I get to work?
If you're feeling trapped by debt and missed payments, there is hope. DCGsa specializes in debt review services that protects your assets. Don't lose your car or your house. Start with a free assessment today.
Oh, free assessment. Maybe there's hope after all.
DCGsa, award-winning debt assistance since 2009. Call DCGsa today, 086 100 1047.
This is what I need. It's time to make.
Yes, indeed, it might be time for you to make that call, so do stay tuned because it's Money Matters time. Today we're having a conversation that so many people need to hear before it becomes an emergency. All right, so it's all about stopping debt. So stop debt before it stops you. Okay, because the truth is debt problems rarely arrive overnight. They usually start quietly. One account gets paid late, and then one card carries us through the month. One loan covers another expense, and before long, people are not managing money anymore. They are managing panic. And to unpack this, I'm joined, as always, by Casper le Grange from DCGsa. Casper, welcome back. How are you?
I thought you were going to play that Chippendales Rescue Rangers. I thought we the Rescue Rangers of Debt today. Hey, Mr. K, come on. Where's your flow on your program, man?
Oh, my word. That's it. Get over it already, Casper. It's over.
Quite enjoyed that. But thank you. Always nice to be here. And like today's topic, because it speaks directly to something we see every day. People often wait until the pressure is unbearable before they ask for help. I think we isolate ourselves and try and think we're going to deal with it. But the true secret is in finance, early action is powerful. It just gives you so much more options. When you act early, there are usually more options, less damage, and more dignity in whichever process you choose.
Absolutely. Now, Casper, this topic was sparked by a recent warning from the National Financial Ombuds Scheme. What exactly are they saying?
They are saying something very clear. Do not wait until debt has cornered you. And I think lots of people, we lived on hope, and then suddenly this fuel crisis came again, because remember, the fuel came down so nicely. Groceries was getting cheap. We were smiling to buy toilet paper again. Even a loaf of bread seemed simple. And then boom, before you know it, we're struggling again. So the Ombud really warned consumer to act before things become repossession, foreclosure, court action, or total loss of control. And I think that is such an important message, because people sometimes tell themselves, I will sort it out next month. I'm going to get a bonus in 2 months' time, or I'm waiting for that increase that might never come. But if every month is tighter than the one before, next month may not rescue you. It may simply arrive with more pressure attached to it. The Ombud also highlighted that when a person's vehicle or home is at risk, we are not just talking about numbers on paper. We are talking about work, children, security, transport, family stability, and the most important, peace of mind.
And that's a big point, Casper. It really is. This is not just about debt. It's about the ripple effect debt has on a household, isn't it?
Exactly. Financial stress enters the home. It affects your sleep. It affects relationships, concentration at work, your ability to make calm decisions. Logic goes out the door because that pressure, that lack of sleep, everything is just overwhelming. And very often, by the time someone reaches out, they are not only financially exhausted, they are emotionally exhausted as well.
So, Casper, bearing that in mind, let's help listeners identify the red flags, shall we? What are some of the signs that debt is starting to take control?
Yeah, and that's so important is look out for the signs. It's so easy to say it from an outside perspective, but we deal with this daily. We see the signs. We work with those people. So there are several. A listener should pause and really take stock. Be honest with yourself, because I think the biggest person we lie to is ourselves.
Yep.
That's always, no, I'm fine. But are you really? So let's start with those major points. You are using credit for groceries, school costs, or fuel. Are you using your credit card? Are you using that overdraft? Then the next one, you are paying one account by missing or reducing another account. You borrow from family near the end of every month. And I think that's a big one. Now, we addressed it a couple of weeks ago as well. That's really been sticking its head out badly over the last couple of months. And you start avoiding calls, SMSs, emails from creditors. You know, when that phone starts ringing, the stress levels go up. Yeah. That is a major sign. You regularly pay only the minimum due. So that credit card, you know, you're not supposed to just pay the minimum. You must pay whatever's outstanding, or at least 10% of the outstanding balance. And people aren't doing that. So if you're only paying that minimum, you know you are heading for trouble. And you have no idea what your total debt actually is. I think the more people get anxiety and stressed out, the more they try to avoid the situation, and the less they know about what's actually going on, what that actual total number is. And you're telling yourself it is not that bad yet, while feeling very anxious, especially around payday. So the National Credit Regulator has also explained that a consumer may be over-indebted when the income is no longer sufficient to cover living expenses and debt repayments. And it specifically encouraged financially distressed consumers not to ignore debt obligations, to communicate and seek help. Mr. K, we're seeing the stats on the bureaus. Over 10 million people on arrears with at least one account. And remember, there's only 29 million credit active consumers in South Africa. So 40% can't make payments to all their accounts.
Sure. Now, that phrase, Casper, I don't know how much I owe in total. That must be quite common. Sadly so, but I'm sure it is, isn't it?
Very, very common. And it's dangerous because confusion creates delay. I think people cannot make good decisions when they are afraid to look at the full picture. That is why at DCGsa, we always encourage people to start with a financial assessment. You cannot know where you're going or what the solution is if you do not know what your current situation or where you're coming from. So not a panic decision, not an emotional reaction, a full financial assessment to give you the full picture. Let's look at the real figures. Let's look at what is your income? What is your living cost? How much is your credit agreements? What's outstanding? What's the installment? What's the arrears on those credit agreements? Your affordability, and what options do you still have available? Remember at the beginning I said, the sooner you take action, the more options you have, especially when it comes to finances. So once people can see the picture clearly, the same often begins to lift, because now there is a plan. They can take action. There is something. They know where they're coming from, and they can clearly see what option they can choose.
And Casper, in your experience, why do consumers delay? Why not act the moment they realize that they're struggling?
There are quite a few reasons, but I think most cases people are embarrassed. It feels like failure. They overwhelmed. We especially see it with men as well. The pride part of it, of I'm a complete failure, that comes out. But you're not. Some think asking for help means they've completely failed. Some fear people are going to judge them. Others are hoping for that bonus. They live on hope. They're going to get that tax refund, a salary increase next month, or some other miracle or catch up, is going to happen in the near future. So we see the one side where there's hope and there's something. But let's be honest, hope is not a debt strategy. It's not going to solve the now. I always say, we hope for the best, but let's plan for the worst. If you've got a plan for the worst in case, then wonderful. Hope is wonderful, but it must be partnered with action. There's also a misunderstanding that getting help means someone is immediately pushing you into a product. And that is not how we approach it at DCGsa. We are not trying to sell debt review at all. That's the last thing I want the listeners to understand. That is not what we're trying to get to. When you contact us, our main focus is let's get an assessment. But the sooner you do that assessment, the more options you have. Maybe debt review is one of them, but hopefully you come soon enough, and that is one of the possible options. So let us first assess your situation properly, and then you can have the right solution that depends on the real facts that are in front of you.
I like that. You sell clarity first.
Exactly. Clarity before commitment. Understanding before decisions.
All right, now, Casper, let's talk carefully about honesty here. What happens when people simply do nothing?
The problem usually becomes more expensive and more stressful. People run to us when there's legal action. And accounts can fall deeper into arrears. Interest and fees can continue. Creditors may escalate collection steps. If secure debt is involved, so your house, your car, your home loan, the consequences can become really severe. Imagine needing to tell your kid, listen, we need to pack up. They're selling the house. We don't know where to now. Or tomorrow you're taking your kid to school, the sheriff rocks up at the school and you don't have a car. So, the NFO specifically warned that consumers should seek help before the legal process starts. So when you start seeing those red flags, you haven't even missed a payment yet, but you can feel, wow, things are getting tough. Continuing like this and my hope disappears on the horizon, I'm going to be in trouble. Then take action, because acting early almost always leads to better outcomes than waiting until repossession or foreclosure is already underway.
And that exactly is at the heart of today's message. And that is to act while you still have room, while you still have time to act, isn't it?
Yes, the earlier person comes forward, the more we can understand, explain, and assist them to consider the lawful routes available. In some cases, people need budgeting guidance. In others, a debt restructuring assessment may be relevant. In still others, they may need to engage urgently with a credit provider. But the key is, do not disappear from the problem. Silence does not protect you. Information does.
Absolutely. So what should a listener do then after hearing and realizing that, hey, Casper may be talking about me here?
First step, very simple, reach out and ask for an assessment. I think that is definitely the major thing. Do not wait until you are in crisis mode. Do not assume you have no options. Do not rely on guesswork. Let us unlock your financial position carefully and confidentially. At DCGsa, we help consumers understand what they owe, what they can realistically afford, where the pressure points are, what options may be available, and what the next responsible step should be. The goal is not to frighten people, the goal is to help them regain control before debt makes choices on their behalf.
And this is not only for people who have already missed multiple payments, right?
Not at all. In fact, it can be wiser to reach out when you see warning signs beginning. You do not wait for the roof to cave in before inspecting the cracks. Let's fix, or the more options you have, the sooner you look for options, the more options you have. So the same applies to money. When we see those cracks, let's address the cracks before the water starts running down the walls.
Absolutely. Casper, before we close, you always leave us with scripture connected to the topic. So what is today's verse?
Today, I want to share Haggai 1 verse 6. You earn wages only to put them in a purse with holes in it. Gonna read that again. You earn wages only to put them in a purse with holes in it. That verse captures what many consumers feel right now. They are working, they are trying, they are earning, yet the money disappears and nothing feels stable. Sometimes the issue is not laziness or irresponsibility. Sometimes the issue is that the financial structure of the household has become unsustainable. And when that happens, wisdom says, stop, examine, and seek help before the problem deepens. Faith and responsibility walk together. Pray, yes, but also take wise steps.
What a powerful reminder, Casper. Thank you so much, man. And for the listener who wants to take that wise step, how can they reach DCGsa?
Oh, I'm going to put you on the spot today. So what is that 086 number that you should know off by heart?
Good thing I can just read it. It's 086 100 1047. Okay, 086 100 1047.
That's
How
it.
did I do?
Yeah, no, you passed. Eh? I was worried you were getting rusty, so I have to have it on in black and white for you. But otherwise, maybe you're still sitting at work or at home. Pop us an email, help@dcgsa.co.za. WhatsApp us 061 432 8499. That WhatsApp number again, 061 432 8499. Or the top floor, 21 Pierce Street in the same building as Vodacom for you. You know, all of us are here on Link FM. We're there. We're there in the same street. So just pop in. Or you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, or TikTok. And let us help you understand where you stand and what your next step could be.
Okay, awesome stuff. Casper le Grange from DCGsa, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And of course, Link FM family, remember today's message. Stop debt before it stops you. Shoo. Till next week.
Have a blessed one.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Proudly brought to you by